Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Neptune in the third house in a natal chart. Now, first off, what I want to state is some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the Neptune placements in the houses. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first up is, well, Neptune in the third house naturally is comparable to Neptune in Gemini, though naturally you got to blend in the zodiac sign with it. Neptune in Gemini in the third house can be different than Neptune in Sagittarius in the third house. And Neptune astrology is connected with dreams and fantasies. So if you have this placement, dreams and fantasies may be tied into communication. You may be able to articulate, what you dream and fantasize about very well, whether it's actual, your literal dreams or the things that you actually dream of doing. And, it could be too, and also dreams and fantasies may be connected with manual dexterity, whether it's something with auto or refrigeration mechanics as an example, doing something with writing, journalism, working in data or satellite communications, some communication field, and just also dreams and fantasies may be pursued with a lot of animation, vivaciousness. It could be doing public speaking, or working as a travel journalist, some examples. And maybe to just be careful that those dreams and fantasies aren't connected with living vicariously through somebody else's life, because vicariousness, I would say, could be connected with Gemini because it has a connection with mimicry. And the thing too is Neptune in astrology is also associated with inspiration. So if you have Neptune in the third house in your natal chart, well, you may have had more inspiration in your early education, more so than most others on average. It could be, you may be very inspired to do things, such as like assimilating and disseminating information, communicating, articulating your thoughts, writing, journalism, even reporting. It could be even mimicry in some cases, and you may also you may be more inspired, matters with short trips, local transportation, driving vehicles, such as working on them. And you may often, be somebody that inspires, your siblings, cousins, neighbors, more so than most others on average. But the thing about Neptune is it's also associated with hidden adversaries. So if you have Neptune in the third house, hidden enemies at times, in some instances, may actually be, siblings, one or more siblings, cousins, neighbors. It could be people that were prominent in your early education. Maybe it's people that through short journeys. That might work in some kind of local transportation field. It could be a driver, somebody that works as a driver, say, or somebody that works on something with manual dexterity, again, such as like an auto or refrigeration mechanic. These people may also be loquacious, vivacious, versatile, very diversified. It could be, people that are cerebral, articulate, that have good diction. Now, Neptune is also connected with, idealism and what we can be idealistic about. So you may be more idealistic in terms of your thinking. You may, communicate about your ideals often. You may also be idealistic in terms of cerebral ability, what you can attain intellectually, in assimilating and disseminating information. You may have been more idealistic in your early education, more so than most others, people that were prominent in your early education. You may have been somebody that tried to see the best in them, try to overlook, their transgressions, defaults, or shortcomings. It could also be where these you may be more idealistic in matters connected with siblings, cousins, and neighbors more so than most people as well. And also, Neptune in astrology is associated with our with dissolving, dissipation, weakness. So if you have Neptune in the third house in your chart, it may be, some cases it could be the rational thinking. It could have to do with, communication, or even, the hands, the arms, the lungs, the nerves. Keep in mind the third house does correspond with the zodiac sign Gemini, so there can be, some dissolving, dissipation, weakness in what I just described that's anatomically connected with Gemini. Again, the hands, nerves, the arms, lungs. Now, Neptune is also associated, with deception and duplicity. So you have to guard against, being, deceptive in your communications, but at the same time, dealing with those that are, that may be deceptive in communications, the things that they say to you. And there could be, more gullibility, with this placement more so than most others on average. And you may be easily, guard against being easily influenced, impressionable, by what other people tell you. It's important to look at, make sure you verify facts. And if you're somebody that, especially if you deal with a lot of contracts, make sure you're scrutinizing and looking at the fine print in those. It's imperative to do so, with this placement, I would say. And also, there may be, people that are deceptive in your life, maybe siblings, cousins, neighbors, people that are prominent in your short journeys. And also, the third house in astrology is also connected with the hidden adversaries of the less dominant parent, which is often the mothers. So you got to guard against, these people, being, deceptive and duplicitous. So now another thing, as well, with Neptune. Neptune is associated with psychic receptivity. So if you have, any, kind of psychic ability, intuition, maybe it was more pronounced in your early education. It might have to do with vehicles somehow. It could just simply be intuitively knowing when your vehicle is going to be ready. Say if you have it in a shop and it's being repaired. Matters with driving. And also, again, the hidden enemies of the less dominant parent, their actions. Siblings, cousins, and neighbors, you may be very intuitive in those matters. Matters with short journeys, local transportation. These are things where you may be very intuitive about. Now, Neptune is also associated with what's nebulous, unclear, and obscure. So if you have Neptune in the third house, the things that may be unclear to you may be connected with vehicles. Could be just simply trying to diagnose what's wrong with the car, or truck, whatever you're driving. Matters with short journeys, and their short journeys may be very convoluted as well. And, things that are associated, with the long distance travel of the significant other. Remember, this is 9 houses, from the 7th. So it's connected with long distance travel of the significant other. It could be, as far as the reasons why, that person may be traveling abroad, or what is actually going on with that person when he or she arrives at that that far in the country, things of that nature. And just communications in general, may be more unclear. They may be more ambiguous than most people compared to most people on average. Now, you may also, be somebody that might be very poetic, because keep in mind, Neptune is associated with poetry. Third house is communication. You may often, communicate about, your dreams, your fantasies, ideals. You may talk often about, things associated with poetry, dancing, photography, or even the metaphysical, which includes astrology. Keep in mind, Neptune is also associated with flooding. So, you got to be careful with this. There may be greater propensity of your car, or truck, whatever it has, being damaged more due to flooding, more so than most others on average. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.